Folks, what's going on? Hope you're all doing well. Appreciate you all tuning back into the pod. I'm joined by Stevie Moore, who runs the Laziali, one of the longest standing blogs on calcio on the internet in English. Probably, right? When did you start that?
2018.
2018. That was kind of right when it was getting started. You were a college kid at the time?
Yeah, but university, I was doing writing for the Marzio. That's how I got into it.
Were you really?
Yeah.
How did you swing that?
Messaged Adamo, who was the English
Right,
lead
yeah.
in New York, and then he's actually jumped off Twitter now, so I don't see him too much or talk to him too much.
Right, yeah. I mean, I don't want to I don't want to I don't want to make fun of a guy who you might know who you owe a lot to, but I always found that funny. He just kind of said, "That's it. I'm retiring from Twitter."
Yeah.
That was fascinating. I'd never seen that in my life. So we have a lot to get into. You're a big Laziale. We're gonna have a little fun. Big Lazio game coming up in the Champions League in a couple of days. This is gonna be a bonus pod, and we don't do a lot of like calcio-heavy shit all the time anymore. So this is gonna be a more football-based episode. I'm excited about it, man. I'm really happy that you're here. You were able to kind of parlay your passing interest in the sport, or I guess like real passion in the sport, but like your kind of passing involvement in it, right? It was like a hobby, basically, right?
Yeah.
You've kind of parlayed it into a career,
Hobby turned career, hobby turned, the passion just went from there.
So, yeah, we have a lot to get into, and I'm really pumped up. This is going to be the first episode with a guest coming out from Toronto. So, without further ado, I'm Sam Adamo, and this is the Bordello. All right, what's going on, folks? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another episode of the Bordello. Steven, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, not too much. It's been a nice weekend so far.
I appreciate you coming down to this humble Airbnb. We were greeted at the door by the hostess, who was concerned that you in your new SUV just pulled up.
Just did one of these, and there was an issue.
You were like, "Can I help you?" And she scurried back into the house. And I had to ask my mother, "Hey, Diane, is it cool if I record a podcast? Because I'm not allowed to have guests in here." And I just, Diane, please, I drive a fucking Honda Civic. The fucking engine light's blinking, buddy. You got to throw me a bone here. I'm chasing a dream out here. You got to let me fucking. For all she knows, we could be shooting a porno down here. To be fair, I mean, why the hell is this
with the new lights, you never know.
This strapping young man entering my basement, referring to you, not me. You're the strapping young man. We do have a whole setup. So we got new lights, and maybe listeners will be able to tell viewers if you're watching this. Please check it out on YouTube and like and subscribe if you are so inclined. But if you're listening, just check out the setup on YouTube here. I think it's a little more crisp than it used to be. We just got these new studio lights, and as I'm setting them up, I realized that because I assume that the people who run this place, there's a few names on the listing, I don't know, whoever's fucking involved, I assume that they all have keys and could access this private apartment. And if they just walked in, because you might wonder sometimes, hey, I wonder what these strangers, these freaks are doing in my house.
Yeah.
Maybe once, if they see the car's gone, maybe they'll just pop in and make sure nothing's amiss. If they suspect that maybe I'm a little bit weird, right? I'm not, I don't think. But if I give off weird vibes and they think I'm keeping like a head in their freezer, maybe they'd want to just inspect.
Just double check, just in case.
And if they just opened it up and saw these lights, they might think, what the fuck is this guy?
If it's tailored around the bed here, then...
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, the bed is directly to our left here. Oh, man. I appreciate you coming on, Matt. So,
thank you.
So you were telling me. So how'd you get into Lazio? Is it the family connection? You were saying your dad's a long-standing Canadian. Your mom's from the Lazio region.
Yes.
Your grandparents on your mom's side are from where is it? Sora, you said.
They're from Sora, yes.
Which is Frosinone.
Yes. It's a little bit south of Rome, so yeah, Laziale connection from there. It was either Lazio Rome, or Lazio or Rome, I should say. And then Lazio was the colors, sky blue eagles, and then from there it's just been passed on to me.
It was passed on to you. It wasn't a thing where you just like started watching the sport and wanted to know, hey, where do my family's allegiances lie?
Like
And
my
you picked it yourself?
My first move, like my first memory of calcio, I guess you could say, was the 2006 World Cup, going out running on the streets. You know, I got some neighbors on the street who were Spain fans, so it was good to go and
rub it in a little.
Rub it in a little.
You were
bit
what?
after
You
that.
would have been 8. I was 9 when we won.
Yeah, exactly. I was young, 8. But that's
Yeah.
like my first, you know, real memory. And I think after that, that's what kind of pulled me into it, because obviously the Lazio merchandise everywhere, on Manono's keychains, on his Colana. Like,
Okay,
you know, it's all there,
so you got sucked. Yes, because I was gonna say that's international football,
Yeah.
obviously. Yeah, that was my first core. It wasn't my first core memory in soccer actually, but it was the most marking one for sure.
Definitely.
Which kind of hooked me in. After which I became interested. But you kind of got into the sport after that,
Yeah.
and then picked up on the stuff that was around you. So your
Exactly.
grandfather passed it down, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of just happened automatically. After that, it was
That's
the weekend
nice.
games, watching Serie A, watching
Yeah.
the Italian channels, and then just from there.
I didn't have that. Yeah, I mean, I had some cousins that liked Juve in Calabria because actually no, in Abruzzo also, on both sides. My mom's side also. But I mean, they're really well followed throughout Italy. But you know, a lot of Calabria fucking loves Juve. It's kind of like the joke, the stereotype that
The
you
South likes the North.
know, they're the team. Well, they're the team of the South. That's kind of
Yeah.
the joke, right? That's why it's the Derby d'Italia, right? Is because you know Inter and Juve are kind of followed all throughout.
Yeah.
But you know, it's cool if you have like a regional club that's kind of important. That's gonna disappoint you more often than not, but that, you know, once in a while might give you something, right? Once in a while you might be in a Champions League game and your goalie might score a goal, you know. That's
something that
it's a little bit of juice to keep you going, you know.
turns you up every once in a while.
Just
exactly.
yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, to be fair, that happens kind of at any team. It's just there are levels to it. But I mean, you're kind of, you know, Lazio's probably like the, you know, you're in the top echelon,
We're in
right?
the echelon now. Yeah.
You're playing Bayern Munich in a couple
banter
days.
here. You know, we got Bayern Munich on Valentine's Day. It's gonna be a nice Valentine's gift. It's getting slapped, but
Well, we'll talk about that. Okay, so you agree that they don't
Oh.
stand a chance the way things are going.
no, not at all.
This is
Doesn't
going to
matter-
come out a
doesn't
few days
matter.
before. So.
Doesn't matter at what point. You know, maybe even if freaking Provedel scores another diving header in the last minute, it's still not gonna happen.
Bro, you're telling me you don't think fucking Ciro Immobile is good enough anymore, bro? I fucking
he's
see
so
you in
good.
every video you ever do. I feel like it's an inside joke now. Anytime anyone gets floated,
Against
you know, if you're doing a
Il
this
Re
or
di
that.
Roma.
Sorry?
Il Re di Roma.
You're nuts. I mean, you are nuts. You know it's Francesco Totti, right?
He's the next one after him.
But no.
Yeah, so you'll know, no, you know, you got.
Still, it's good. You're doing a bit.
You're doing a bit. I'm doing it.
No, you're doing a bit. No, it's good.
Going that far.
It gets to
I'm
I don't
going
give.
that
I don't
far.
care. I see what you're doing, but it gets the people going.
It does. Like, you know, the top
Every
they always
this
say
or that you do with
Ottavo-
TLN. Because you work with TLN, right? With Michele and
Yes.
in the kind of on the, you know, on the football side especially, right?
Yeah. On the social side. On the social
exclusively?
no, the social and digital side. So basically everything.
It's a small
digital.
organization. They got you. Yeah, they got you wearing a few hats. But ultimately the thing that probably gets you up, you know, in the morning.
Yeah, it's one of the things we enjoy, definitely. Like, we're both culture
Yeah.
fans, right? So it's.
Okay, so you're posting a lot of stuff, you know, with him that's just like meant to be engaging to people,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of like this or that, right?
Yeah.
Aussie man Immobile, and it's always fucking Immobile. You're
Yeah,
always
you
fucking
know,
picking
it
it. We
is-
see you know, we see what you're doing.
It
It's,
is there, you know, but I look at it this way, because we always kind of go, like, we have some banter, obviously, but then there's some serious points, and, like, you know, even today, like, you saw, like, the stats come out, he scores 200 Serie A goal, like, there's only 7 other people who have done that.
he's a good
in
player.
the
But
entirety. So it's just like, for me, he's like not just the icon of Lazio, but like my childhood, my watching culture. Like, that's what got you out of the icon. I bought a bet on a Sunday. It's watching him.
how
right?
long
So,
was he? How long has he been there? Almost 10 years.
no, I don't know about 10. I think
Seven,
it's probably like 6, 7, 8 now.
7. I mean, okay, but where
Obviously, you cut the line off when it's the top player. Like, you know, if you say a Maradona, you say a Messi, you say
Yeah.
Ronaldo, of course. Like, there's no comparison. But against proven strikers, against goal scorers, for me,
all time,
he's-
sure. I mean, he's up there with some of the more successful strikers in the league. One of the best of the last 10 years. I do think that a lot of people tend to, if you compare him to like an Inzaghi, for example, a lot of people will scoff if you say that Immobile was a better striker than Inzaghi.
Yeah.
Actually, funnily enough, Immobile might have been a more complete striker than Inzaghi. Filippo, we're talking about. I mean,
Yeah,
Simone was
Simone
a bit
was-
right, but we're talking about people. So, people Inzaghi, to a lot of people who like football, not just like Italians or Italian football fans, but to a lot of like English people who would like, you know, reminisce about, you know, the
Good old days.
good old Milan days, the Pippo Inzaghi. Like, he was this guy that was kind of revered as being like one of the best strikers in the world, and he was, I guess, at scoring goals. But
Yeah.
do you think maybe there's like just I don't know, like a personal bias there where you're like, oh, I saw him when I was, you know,
oh, definitely
younger
definitely.
and ergo really into the sport. As I've gotten older and had kids, I don't quite watch as much as I used to. I'm sure there are some people that still watch a ton of football, but there are some guys who probably just will lean toward the guy who they remember from when they were younger, who they watched more of
course.
and say, yeah, the strikers today aren't like, all'epoca, Vieri, Cassano, Inzaghi, Totti, Del Piero, even Iaquinta, Luca Toni, Gilardino. It's like people just name drop as if to say these guys were all the best. I mean,
and
Gilardino fell off eventually too. He had a good couple of seasons. He was just, part of an interesting period in Italian football. He was a good forward at a time when Italian football was doing really interesting things. So I think maybe that comes into it as well.
I think it is. Like you look at it like this. So Immobile plays for Lazio. He's not playing for a Milan. He's not playing for an Inter. He's not playing for Juve. He hasn't gone to Real. He hasn't gone to Barca. He hasn't gone to the UK. He went to Germany for a bit, didn't work, came back.
Which is a detractor.
And it's a distractor for it. But when you look at it that way, like I think if Immobile played for Juve, Inter, or Milan, and he has the same record he has now, he will go down as one of the best strikers to ever play the game.
That's a good point.
With Lazio, because people don't watch consistently, they only see him with the Azzurri shirt on. That's the problem for me. It's just like everyone else. We can get into the Azzurri talk afterwards, but just in general in Serie A, I think that's what it is. It's because he doesn't have one of those, the Milan, Juve, Inter. If he's with those, totally different story.
Maybe, but I also think that in order to have done well with, say, a Juve in particular, because Milan 7 years ago when he would have joined Lazio, had he joined Milan at the same time that he joined Lazio, had the same exact career, same exact record with Milan as he did Lazio, I agree, it would be looked at more positively. Yeah. But I do think a few of those years they would have been a wash because Milan weren't all that for a good couple of years. Yeah.
That's what we were too, though. That's why. So another thing is when Immobile came, he basically brought us from the banter era, because Milan and Inter both had it too, while Juve was dominating. They were, you look at the likes of all those guys that played for that team at that time. Same thing with Lazio, right? Like we had our team. If you look back at our team 7 years ago, 8 years ago, it's laughable.
Here's what I'm. Well, again, but that's going to happen. Respectfully, with a club like Lazio, that is going to happen once in a while, where there are just ebbs and flows, and sometimes you do have to, kind of eat it a little bit one or a season or two. You have a fucking guy who's getting a little older. He's not scoring as much as he used to. It's going to happen. Yeah. I do think that a club like Lazio has pressure from the fans, but there's less of a global pressure to compete. Yep. Right? There's less of the culture that there is at Juve, for example. Right?
Definitely.
It's upsetting to you. You want them to do well, and you're following them, but there are just times when all right, this is a bit of a lull, a year or two. It can't happen. It's not fun while it's happening, but it is happening. I get what you're saying. But look, no, I think the fact that he kind of came in and helped turn the page, when he leaves, it'll be another real turning of the page. I do think the fact that he will have been around for a whole important, chapter is relevant. But yeah, I don't disagree that if he were at a larger club, he'd be looked at more fondly. But let's look at Juve in particular. Let's just say if he was at Juve, because they, for the, most of the period that he's been at Lazio, were the best team in Italian football, or one of. Okay, I know Milan and Inter are the two other biggest clubs in the country, but for a couple of those years, they may not have been quite all that. If he, in 2016 through now, was at Juve and was scoring for them, en route to a Champions League final, for example, that AC Milan didn't do. Inter actually did, to be fair, in recent years. They really have bounced back. But anyway, if he had been at Juve the entirety of the time he's at Lazio and he's scoring the goals that he scored, I do agree that I think he'd be looked at a lot more fondly. I do think a lot more people would say he's a shoo-in for the national team. He's got to keep playing because look at what he's done. Yeah. Even if he's scoring the same number of goals he's scoring now, which was topped off, a little bit, but not a ton.
They've dropped off.
A little bit, yeah. I don't disagree. But do you not think that maybe in order to have put up the goals that he would have been putting up at Juve, it would have been, it would have kind of proven some kind of, ability to perform in important moments, which maybe has lacked a little bit whenever he's taken a step up, respectfully, for a level above Lazio. And I just mean on the international front.
Yeah, on the international front.
He's done okay.
Yeah.
It's been a little frustrating,
Because we're used to see, that's what I mean. So people see like the likes of a Luca Toni, Inzaghi, Totti, all these guys who came in the generations before when Italy was they were this powerhouse. When we look at it now, I look at the Nations League group we just got drawn, and I look at the Euros, I look at the World Cup. I'm not as confident that the Azzurri are actually going to progress like we were before. Like 2006, after that, we were like, oh, no issue, right? Since then, so when
because
you
because at the time they were, they were
one of the best.
They were one of the best. It kind of cemented it in our minds, and then there was a period of a little bit of a drop off. They were always competitive, but I understand.
So I think you look at it that way, and it's like, people want to see this like top goal scorer. They want to see him scoring every single game, and like for me, I know, like I see him matching, week in, week out type of thing, right? So I know what he's good at, what he's not good at, what people see, what they try to dial in on to that extent, right? And it's just a matter of he's not, like we were talking about this actually earlier on a podcast, he doesn't have the dribbling of a Ronaldinho. He doesn't have, the heading of
But the
Luca
point is,
Toni.
neither did, take your pick. Inzaghi and Toni. Let's just pick those two, right? They didn't have the dribbling of Ronaldinho either. It's not the fucking role they played.
But they had the finishing. You put a ball inside the box.
Right, but which is why you could make the point, though, that Immobile could be one of the more impressive Italian footballers of the last few decades, because he's not that dissimilar to some of the other guys who are often cited in the conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
He's good at similar things to them, right?
No, absolutely. Like he's one of those guys who needs he needs service in this space, and give me like 3-4 chances. One of them, maybe two, will go in, and that's the thing that annoys people at the Azzurri too, because they get a chance inside the box. They're like, "Oh, this has got to be in." He'll sky it, he'll miss it, he'll shoot at the goal. Like today, he had 4 goals.
It's not good. It's not good.
Though.
It's not good. Yeah, I think that. So there is a little bit of maybe a bit of a drop off there from the other guys who are a little bit more clinical all the time.
Yeah.
So how does he score then? Is it positioning?
It's confidence and definitely positioning, and just a matter of he took advantage.
Seems like it's a lot of one-on-ones with the goalkeeper.
One-on-one with the goalkeeper.
So that's positioning to me.
It's positioning. He finds the good space. He times his runs perfectly, and that's what he's been at, right? So then obviously from the spot, we know that everyone says he's just a rigore taker. He scores the penalties all the time. But we even looked at the stats today, when we're looking at 200 Serie A goals.
It's a skill also.
It's only got 50 penalty goals. You look at the likes of freaking Totti and all these other guys; they have 20, 30, 40 more than him.
It's a skill. It's a skill. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Totti played a lot more games. I don't know what the pen per capita would be there, but sure, yeah, it's not up. It shouldn't be a detractor for scoring penalties. If you're missing penalties, I mean,
then it's an issue, right?
Yeah, I think that here's the issue with that a lot of people have with him. Okay, because look, you're a Lazio fan, so you're gonna have a little bit of a bias.
Of course,
you're a hardo. You write about them. A lot of people read your writings. You feel maybe like a little bit of an obligation,
definitely,
to be the ambassador for this guy to, the readership or to the viewership or to the calcio world or whoever I don't know the Italian fans who might I don't know like Lazio, read your shit, but also see him play with the national team and want them to do well and be a little concerned or whatever. I will say that I understand the instinct to defend him. However, I think a real thing that's bothered a lot of folks is that he's often been like the guy that's relied on as the main man, the main starting punto, and I don't think that's ideal. I don't disagree that at times he's been the best option, but I think that's sort of been the frustrating point, is that there used to be more options. He's like a utility guy who you want to maybe have as an option. You want to have the availability to include him.
Yeah.
But I don't know that he's necessarily the guy you're going to build a team around, especially from the start. Especially not if you're a possession-based team. He just doesn't hold up well. And so it's frustrating to people. You get it, right? You get it. When you're watching Lazio, I think your expectations are different from when you're watching,
This year it's similar though. I'll give you that. That's why it feels like I'm watching the Azzurri every time I watch Lazio this year. I'll be honest with you. That's the same situation with Ciro and everyone else. Just the way we play. Sadi, the way he plays in the 4-3-3, it's very similar to what we've seen. Spalletti's kind of the same style of play to that point. But it doesn't matter who we've put up there over recent years. My thing with the Immobile hate is everyone always says, look at Retegui, this guy we got from Argentina. I know you did a pod on him. I was watching your episode with that, and it's
last year. I mean, that was like after he scored one goal, and I just said that's it.
He's the future, and I haven't heard that guy's name mentioned once.
He's doing all right. I think he's
Scamacca too. Raspadori, all these guys, they're good players.
Raspadori's got better football IQ. Raspadori's got he's a very smart player. He creates more.
Yeah.
But I think he holds it up better. Again, it's okay to have a cocktail of forwards who do different things. I do think that because in the case of Immobile, because he kind of,
he has this massive...
was the guy who got a real looking for a while.
No, of course.
He got a looking for a while. I think there's more pent-up frustration toward him. And it's an easy target because he's in his mid-30s now. Or he's gonna be 34, which is not really necessarily a problem. But it's an easy talking point.
It is, definitely. We can go back and forth over numbers or who's better for the position. Like obviously, end of the day, his numbers are not good with the Azzurri. It's as simple as that. But there's so many factors that go into it, and I go.
But you're an Italian guy who watches them too, so you're not like some fucking dude who likes Lazio and who's like, hey, you guys need him, and you have no skin in the game. You watch them. You watch watch the fucking Italian national team with your family. You get upset when he doesn't.
Of course.
So you got to understand where it's coming from to an extent, right?
Definitely. That's why I said a long time ago. I wish you would have just stepped away, because then it would have given other people a chance if we had the options to. But then if he steps away, people go, look at this guy. He's not even wanting to play for us. Same thing, right?
Well, I think you should say I'm available. Just I'm available for selection, and you use me how you see fit. Feel.
Exactly. Should have been like that a while ago. I think since we got, I guess it's 2 World Cups now. 1 World Cup, 2 World Cups. I don't even remember. We've missed so many shit as of late. Haven't seen Azzurri play on the stage in so long, but.
You talking about 2014? What are you referring to?
No. As of late, we didn't go to the last World Cup, right?
Of course not. No, the last 2.
Last 2. That's what I mean. It feels like I thought it was just 1, but no, it is 2. That's what I mean. So we haven't even gone to the last 2. I would have said after the first one where we didn't make it, I would have said, "See you later." If I was him, I would have just stayed at home. All the other guys after that, personally, because I've been saying this for a long time now, on the Lazio front, I would prefer him to stay here so he doesn't get injured on international duty. He doesn't, get his confidence taken away. For Lazio, I hope he doesn't go. But then obviously the Azzurri in me wants him to start. But when I see him start, obviously he's not playing the same way and he's not performing the same way. So then it's like a battle of the two. Like, is it worth it? And obviously putting on the national shirt, everyone says, the biggest honor. So of course he wants to keep doing it. But I think there's like a point where he's just got to, like you said, I'm available, kind of like an Insigne. I'm available if you want to call me, call it a day. But put these other guys up there. Put Tabacchi up there.
I think he's got to be even more available than Insigne, because I think Insigne would happily accept the call, but I think he knows it's over. I think he took the money. He won an international title. He had a good tournament. He's had a decent career. I think in the case of Immobile, he's still fucking playing in Serie A. He's still in the most important league that's gonna get looked at. So I think he should say, if you want me, I'm here.
Yeah.
If you want me, here I am. Yep. I'll do it. You tell me what you want me to do, type of thing. Yeah. And I think that is sort of where he's at. But, I don't know if the call's coming. Yeah. I'm interested to see who gets called up next month to those friendlies.
Very much so. It's going to be good in the States. It's for the first time in a while, I believe, they're coming over here. So
I'm going to be out of the country, so I'm not going to be able to go. I would have otherwise maybe liked to try to go down. Are you going to try to go?
I think I might try to go.
New York?
It's close. Yeah, New York. I've never been. So.
Miami's a fun one. Miami's probably going to be a fun one. But but New York's close. You could drive it. It's not that bad. I mean, it's cool that they're doing that. But I think Scamacca's not even fucking playing now.
No.
So
there's just no options.
So what are we doing?
There's just nothing.
Well, it's at Tabacchi probably.
Yeah. But even so, him. I honestly exactly. This year, I actually have not heard the guys. I thought he played. I haven't heard his name at all.
He's playing for Genoa.
Exactly.
Because he's playing for Genoa and he's not lighting it up like Icardi. You know what I'm saying? Like remember Icardi at Sampdoria fucking was. No, but Icardi at Sampdoria, you couldn't not hear about because he was
just racking it up.
He was doing. Was he?
I think he was.
He scored a couple goals against Juve actually. I don't know if he was there long enough to even rack up a ton of goals. I don't know. It was a stretch in time when he was kind of like when he really had left his mark, and I don't know. I think
we're in the lack of strikers. That is for sure.
There's only one man. There's only one man, dude.
Mario Balotelli.
Oh, bro, buddy. It's obviously ridiculous, but also.
Can it get much worse?
You mad if he's on the bench?
No, not at all.
Are you mad if he's on the bench?
I am not.
What?
People are coming to see him. People are coming. They're paying just to see him on the bench.
He puts asses in the seats, buddy. It's not happening. But
I know.
Where's he playing now?
He's playing in Turkey.
Is he scoring in Turkey?
He's scoring in Turkey.
Is he scoring?
I think he's been injured for a bit, but he was scoring in Turkey.
He was having a tough go of it in Switzerland last year. I want to look this up.
Last year in Switzerland was funny.
Well, yeah. Didn't he punch the president
he scored
or something?
yesterday.
You're on your phone?
Yeah.
You got the stats? How many goals does he have?
He has got 4 goals in 6 games for Adana Demirspor.
He's only played, dude, he's played 6 games this year.
Yeah. 6 big games. But hey, 2 seasons ago before Switzerland, he was there too. 18 goals, 33 games. He's still racking them in. Now Turkey's just where everyone from Serie A goes.
It's where anyone who's right on the cusp of
like Fabio Borini
having a fucking crisis of identity
yeah
goes. It seems. Is Andrea Bertolacci still playing there?
Yeah,
he is.
I think so.
Is he still?
That's hilarious. If you look at the Turkish league, it's all former players that were just like
Bonucci's there right now. That's
Bonucci's there.
Bonucci's trying to salvage it up. He's trying to fucking jumpstart it, dude. He's trying to get a little jumpstart before the Euro. He went to Fenerbahce in the hope that he might get called up. Like that's ever gonna happen.
Still with Fatih Karagümrük. Bertolacci. That is a throwback name, I'll be honest. Davide Braschi. Look at these guys.
Yeah.
Kevin Lasagna.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Wow.
And then Bertolacci, yeah.
Sirigu's there too.
Salvatore Sirigu. And Federico
Ceccherini.
Ceccherini. That's crazy, dude.
Oh my god, yeah. This is literally it's the Serie B basically.
It's fucking dude.
It's Serie A.
It's like fucking Bologna.
Out of nowhere. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's hilarious.
So maybe we should take Turkey with a grain of salt, but it's dawning on me that Chiesa's gonna play.
I would hope so, but he hasn't been playing as of late either.
He's gonna play. He'll be there. He'll be there as a wide guy.
It's a tough one. Our attacks.
You just need it to work.
Just need it to work.
You just need it to work. It doesn't have to be obvious. It doesn't have to be a case of, well, obviously this guy's killing it, so he gets in. This guy's killing it, so he gets in, and this guy's killing it, so he gets in. No, it's just got to be a thing that you try till it works and you run it.
Just go with it. Totally.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Just say Retegi's good enough. We'll give him a shot. We'll see what he does. If he runs with it, then we're happy to play it out.
Yeah.
Type of thing. I don't know.
So.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm realizing this is a totally unrelated note, but the Airbnb lady said that she's having people over. And by the way, this is what she gets for having an Airbnb in her basement, for, having the Airbnb be rented out by a stranger. I have a private side door, but I got to run through her dining room before I get into the basement. She said she's having people over at 6. Well, what happens if I fucking come, should I just, go for a run with my shirt off, dude? Just for fun, just pretend like I'm going for a jog, so I can
work out in the backyard,
just so she
while they're having dinner.
Or just I'm going out on the street for a jog on the sidewalk with no shirt on. In order to do that, I gotta pass through the dining room where people are being hosted. There's a strange man who walked through the house half naked. It's
sunglasses on too at night. Yeah.
Who does that, dude? I'm happy it's being done, but who the fuck pimps out their house? It's so crazy. It's so crazy. She said, I'm having people at 6, so you guys gonna be done? What if I said no?
No, yeah.
Actually, no, we're not.
Too bad.
We're gonna be walking through. We're gonna, we gotta move some bags in and out. We got lights. I gotta, he's a friend. I gotta give him some stuff from my place. I don't know. What if you wanted to give me displays or something? DisplayPro's kind of a sponsor of the pod. We have, not now, but in the studio we have a couple of jerseys propped up.
Federico Makeda. Wow.
Yeah, I'm putting it to good use. I'm putting it to good use.
Star.
I'm putting it to great use, dude. That's another good example of how if it doesn't work in Italy, you just keep digging until you find a top league in a sufficiently isolated country where you could forge out a career. Where is he now? Sorry, not to make you keep looking stuff up, but you got your phone on hand. I think he's no longer at Panathinaikos. I want to know where he wound up signing. But while you pull that up, you got displays to give me.
I did.
We're running in and out of the house.
He's in Turkey too.
What's she gonna say? Is he?
He's in Turkey as
of course.
well.
What's the club called?
Ankaragucu.
Top flight. Top flight. It's where a lot of players go to lie to themselves and say, "Hey, I'm still in a top."
Ricardo Saponara's with him.
Holy shit, boys! It's you know what? It's all the guys who
just couldn't do it.
Were maybe just getting a look into the Azzurri in 2017. Ventura era. It's all the Ventura era fucking.
Now he's
all the Ventura era
he's
fucking.
back. Hey, sorry, I messed up possibly. No, that was last year. Yeah, so this year he's
He
back
was
in
on loan
Turkey.
in Cyprus, but he's back
He's
in
in
Turkey.
Cyprus, and he's back in
He's
Turkey.
that part of the world, the Balkans there.
Yeah, he's good.
By the way, you smell that? I think she's cooking.
I do smell
She
dinner.
is going to be hosting people.
I do
What if I
smell
just
dinner.
fucking popped up and just started cracking jokes?
think we
Hey,
just
hey,
sit- I
you
think
got
we sit
it.
at the table.
You spare me some, cornbread, whatever.
Look at the leftovers.
I don't know, man. So, fuck, man. So what do you think's happening in midweek here? This is going to come out a few days before the Bayern game. I hate intellectualizing games, by the way.
Oh no, I'm
Like,
a
you know,
massive intellectual.
I was talking about this recently. Just how if someone's listening back to this pod in 20 years, they're not going to care about the Lazio Bayern game from that 1 week in February 2024. But
unless Lazio wins,
yeah, then it'll be a
then
significant
just
thing.
for a significant amount of people. No, I shouldn't say significant. A core group of people will remember that. But I get you.
That'd be a big one. I think if you guys could upset them, that'd be unreal. If you would upset them, you're probably able to go on a run to the latter stages of the tournament, man. It's probably not gonna happen, but that's one of those things. That's the cool thing about the Champions League. You just got to be one Goliath, and then all of a sudden you're like, you're the Cinderella story of that tournament. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Just like Morocco at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Just like that.
How does it happen? How do you guys realistically win? Because you guys are not playing well lately.
No, we're not. We haven't played well this year at all. Too many issues. I think the only thing I can see happening, and this is like so unlikely to happen on so many different levels, is we score a goal early, we park the bus, and that is that. We play like a 1-9, and that's it. Call it a day. That's never gonna happen.
It's not gonna end well against Bayern, dude.
No,
you score too early against Bayern, you will die.
That's
You know what I mean. You gotta hold off for a long time. Maybe concede. Here's how the game goes. Let me tell you. And by the way, this is okay. So again, we're applying this to like in a couple days, the game that's coming up, which you care a lot about. But this is an archetype of a game. Okay, this is the blueprint for any time an Italian team's an underdog against a Goliath in Europe. All right, here's how the game should go. Here's how you have success. Okay, over 2 legs. This is less of, now again, a consideration that's no longer really a factor is the away goal rule, which actually kind of butt fucks the Italian teams a little bit, because if you could just snag a goal on the road,
then you're okay.
You could kind of park it in good faith.
Yeah.
Concede 2, lose the game, and be like, hey, we just got to get 1 at home.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then we got to just hold off.
Yep.
And, if we score 1 at home, it's 2-2 aggregate, but we got the away goal. And at that point, you're comfortable to just sit back and say,
do nothing. If
we win, we win. It's in God's hands. If we concede, yeah, we won't go through, but at least we will have tried. So that blueprint's now dead. The new blueprint is you hold off as long as possible, okay?
Okay.
Just before half, not to the point that it's demoralizing. A goal's always demoralizing, but not at the stroke of half, okay? Like 38th, 37th, 39th minute, whatever.
40th, okay.
You concede.
Fair.
You go in a half. Coach yells at you. You'll come back maybe in like the 60th minute. Draw level. You go into the second tied at 1.
No.
Basically, you've kept them at bay. You've just kept your fucking head above water. Okay? You're gasping for air, and you just salvage yourself. You score a goal, you pull it out of the fire, and you're able to go home unaffected, no injuries, whatever.
So what if they're playing at home first?
It's not a factor because the away goal rule doesn't matter anymore.
Well, that's what I mean, though. So the tactic of, here's the thing.
But ideally,
playing at Bayern. We're playing in Rome first.
Right.
Then going to Bayern.
Ideally, you would play on the road first and pull it out of the fire late.
Yeah.
But it can work both ways. Where if at home you pull it out of the fire, the fans are going nuts. Holy shit, boys. We just fucking equalized against Bayern Munich. Viva du shit, whatever, right? People are going nuts. The good with the bad. Everybody, it's a cauldron. People are losing their minds.
Yeah.
You see it out to 0-0. Maybe you could irk a second goal if you're at home. You ride the fire. You get 2 in quick succession back to back within like 2 minutes. That's actually the way it works. Think about it. Think about it. You concede early. You score 1. Everyone's fired up. You score in the 69th minute. In the 71st, you score again. And then you're like, okay, this could almost still be too early. Yeah. We have 20 minutes to go. And you just see it out, or maybe you concede late. But it's competitive. You're either up by a goal or it's, you're level. You go into the second game then thinking we just need to not concede as long as possible, and roll the dice and leave it up to the gods. Hope we can nick one.
Yeah.
You will at no point have extended periods of possession. No. You will only have counterattacking opportunities.
Yep.
But you're going to take one of them. You're probably not. The one that you had is going to haunt you that you missed.
Yep.
And you go out. But that's usually how it works. But if you could just get one of those little counters in the second half, in the second leg. That's all that matters. Generally, the way it really happens. Now, again, that's in an ideal world. In an ideal world, you're either level or up by a goal going into the fucking second leg, and you could just snag a counterattacking goal. That's enough to carry you through. The way it usually happens is you do get conceded on, or you do get scored on. Excuse me. You do concede a goal. You do get scored on early, like in the first half, late in the first half, generally, whatever. You do equalize. The fans do get fired up. You do go into the second game thinking you have a chance, but ultimately, like, the one chance that you have is some counterattack that just gets scuffed because the guy takes a bad touch and it fucking goes out of play. It's not even, it's like a half chance, but it haunts you. You're like, fuck, he should have hit it one time. He should have hit it one time. He would have got a shot on goal. No guarantee that it's hitting the target. No guarantee that it's going in, that it's not getting saved. But you're thinking, fuck, why did he take a touch? They come back, score, take the lead. At the end, you've kind of fallen apart. And they either, maybe they'll snag another one. And you think, but if we had just had that one goal, it would have been a different. That's how it usually goes.
That's usually how it was against.
And that's the respectable way, by the way. That's the respectable way.
I just hope it's not one of the, like, we faced Bayern. I think it was 2 years ago.
One of those German games.
One of those just annihilations, like those just 4 in the first half.
Those
like
fucking German firing squads. Yeah,
those
man.
Suck. Those absolutely suck. Yeah, so that's like, as long as that's not the case, if it's a 2-1, if it's a 2-0, I'm okay. But the minute it goes between like the 3, the 4, and we're basically just running around like, chickens with their heads cut off. That's where it's for me.
Is it a pretty far right game, or are Bayern Munich pretty progressive?
I actually don't know.
The white nationalists always talk about how they're from Bavaria. They like to cite that, and Bayern are in Bavaria. But I don't know that they're very. I don't know that there's a huge neo-Nazi contingent.
But yeah, I'm not too
in
sure
Bavaria.
about that.
I don't know what parts of Germany those would be. I think it might be more probably countryside Germans. I'd feel like, who are more into that. I don't know, but obviously the far the most far right fans in Italy are Lazio, probably, or Lazio counts the furthest right fans as a contingent.
The ultras have played a bad role for us over the years.
So many of them, yeah. That'd be an interesting. Yeah. What are the politics of the Bayern ultras? They're probably very like collectivist, huh? German football is very, especially the big clubs. They wouldn't really stand for the stuff that some of the more the larger provincial clubs. I'll call Lazio provincial. It's a large club, but it's more on the. They're less of a global brand, right?
No. They're Italy.
Right?
They're Italy.
Yeah, Italy. Yeah.
Tito is Italy.
Yeah, he's
That's
a senator.
it.
Yes, exactly.
That's all I want.
Exactly.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go on vacation. He doesn't want to take a trip to Canada and see anyone wearing a Lazio jacket. No. He doesn't.
No, definitely not. It wouldn't have it wouldn't have the desired effect that you would hope it would, as a fan, as an owner of a club, to see fans abroad. Right. No. It just doesn't get through to his head that they're how valuable that could be.
Lazio is Rome this year.
Exactly. So I don't think Bayern is standing for that to the extent that like a provincial Italian club is standing for. But I wonder. Probably every club in Germany probably has some wackos. There've got to be some crazy people that use like football as like an outlet. Could be some violent outbursts. I mean, listen. They're not going to fucking Prague or like Budapest here, But
I'm trying to think. Even when we played Borussia Dortmund, I don't think there's anything too.
Nothing too untoward.
Yeah, no. We had like worse luck with some of the other teams, like Celtic, for example. When we played Celtic, that was a disaster.
When was that? Like 10 years ago.
That was this year.
This year.
Yeah. I think it was.
Did you guys not play Celtic? Am I dreaming, or did you guys not play Celtic?
No, we did.
Or am I thinking of when you guys played Tottenham? Was it a few years ago? Did you guys play Tottenham at any point in time, which caused issues?
Not recently. No. It was Celtic. Was the
what happened with Celtic? Remind me. This was in the Europa League or in the
no, it was Champions League this year.
This was in the Champions League.
Yeah, Champions League this year. They had a banner. I don't remember the exact details of it, but their fans were basically just like we have a bad like our ultras and their ultras they don't get along. So like couldn't travel, but traveled, went to the city, caused a ruckus. Same thing they did, the vice versa, and
Both very anti-Israel, though. You would think they could bond over that. The Celtic fans are not big fans of Israel. The Irish do not like Israel very much. They're very pro-Palestine. They generally, as a rule of thumb. I don't know if Lazio's ultras. I don't know if the fascist contingent of Lazio ultras who might have gotten into trouble are pro-Palestine, but I think they're definitely anti-Jew. I think the ones that have the the fucking Hitler name on the back of the shirt with the 88 for HH, Heil Hitler, right? I'm sure those guys are in big Jew fans.
But we'll touch on that because that guy actually he was sent from a different country. That guy actually wasn't a Lazio fan.
That's right. He actually wasn't. He was actually a German.
He was actually a German, I think.
Here's the thing. When you come out and say, well, actually, that's a tough. It's a tough one because he was still in the stadium and it was still believable. The fact it was believable that people thought, hey, this seems about right. It's still a little telling. You don't want to be the guy that kind of says, actually,
That's the tough thing, though, right? But yeah, no, that was I was like, there's no way that guy was letting the stadium like that.
Really though? Did you think there was no way? You said no. They have too much moral compass. It wouldn't happen.
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think so.
You'd like to think so, but you're not running the club. They're running it. They're running it. Have they always exhibited the highest degree of competence?
We can on most things, no.
I had to pay tickets in cash when I went there.
Your story about that was so accurate that it was hilarious because
you know about that?
Oh, absolutely. I listened to that. Absolutely.
Did you live it firsthand?
Yes.
You had to go pay cash, and it was funny because when that happened.
But you were smart. You could use the Italian to go and finesse and get your way into I didn't think that far.
You waited in that line?
Not that whole line. I went earlier. I went to the Tabacchi, but I know that experience.
You bought tickets at a fucking tobacco shop?
Yes.
How'd you do that?
Yeah, just walked in there and said I want lots of tickets. But there's particular. I don't even know if it's the case anymore. When I first went in 2016. Recently, I should actually went to the first one. When I first went when I was of a competent age, because I went when I was younger, but 2016, I went with my Croatian friend. We did a half Italy, half Croatia
Keep
tour.
talking, I'm listening to you.
And we went to Lazio Bologna, and it was just one of those weird games when sorry, it was Lazio Sampdoria. Sorry, I apologize. Patrick Schick was still on Sampdoria. That was a massive
they'll forgive you for getting those confused. I don't think anyone's going to hold your feet to the fire.
We won 7-3, and I was like 7-8 rows from the field, and I had to go into a small tabaccheria, go buy these tickets in the back of some sketchy store, and I could only go to particular tabaccheria because there's only some of them that support Lazio. At the time.
Right. So
if
you walk into the wrong one, they might stab you.
Oh, that's it. So I had to kind of.
Or you might just get you might also get. There aren't a ton of these, but there are some in Rome. You might just get an Indian guy who's confused.
Yeah.
But most of them are owned by Italians.
Most of them are. So when you walk in there, it's like a 50-50. It's a gamble. Because I was trying to use my cousins who weren't very big into calcio to kind of say, oh, I think it's this one because they're Romanisti. So it was actually funny when I went in and I had to basically go with them to this Lazio Tabaccheria and hope that this guy was going to sell me the tickets. But I bought them on the spot there, and it was it was the weirdest thing I think I've ever done to get into a stadium.
How many times you been?
Into the stadium or to Rome?
To watch them play.
To watch them play. So I went this November. I went
at the
three
Olimpico.
times. At the Olimpico, 2, 3, 4 or 5. When I was younger,
this November was the.
I went and saw away.
5th.
I went and saw Champions League, and then I went and saw a Serie A match this time. So 2, 3, 4.
Okay, sorry. So you're a big fan. You've seen them in a few spots. So let's keep this simple. How many? So to be clear, you've been to watch them play at home 4 times, where you had to buy a ticket to the Olimpico and go through their ticketing process.
Yes.
4 occasions.
Yes.
Okay. First time
Tabaccheria. Yeah.
Okay. Tabacchi. Second time, third time, fourth time. What does it look like?
Second, third, fourth was the first. Sorry, that was the second time at Tabaccheria. The first time was with my parents when I was younger, so I don't really actually remember how we got.
They
tickets
took
for that.
care of it.
They took care of it.
You were a kid.
Well, I was a kid. I was like 8. That was when I was 8.
Oh, okay.
So that was way back.
Were you with your grandfather?
Yes. Grandfather and with Nono, and then my dad. So that was when we went with that. So he probably knew the way around it because he's been so many times. But
okay,
for me,
did he grow up a Lazio fan?
Yes. Yeah,
he didn't adopt it here. He just would go back. Okay.
They all had his best friend's a Fiorentina fan. His cousin his brother-in-laws were Inter, Juve, he's got the different club battles every single week that they'd like to just get together for and watch the games. But no, either way, this past time I went to, it was just I bought them online. I'm actually forgetting one. I actually went in the summer, so actually I've been 5 times. Final number I'll give you, and it was all online.
Okay,
sorry.
In the summer, this.
That 2022, I went in the summer. That's when I met Immobile. So I won a contest through
You went
Binance,
to a game?
and I went and met Mobile. Yeah, first game of the season, 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
That might have been the game. Who were they playing?
Bologna. When the goalie got sent off, red card, first game.
Right. And then,
I think you went.
and then Provedel came in.
Provedel came in
and
since
took
then.
over. I might have gone to like the third or fourth game of that year. Okay, so second through third. Yeah,
So
whatever.
it's been 5 times, and 3 of them have been through the online ticketing process that I just went online and bought them. But it was a very like complicated process
hang on.
nonetheless.
So hang on. We're a little all over the map here. Hang on. You've been 5 times.
Yeah.
You were a kid once.
Yeah.
Nonno took care of it.
Yeah.
Fine.
Second time.
Fine. This is also like in the mid 2000s. So
yeah.
This is like probably when the process was actually, ironically, maybe even simpler.
Yeah.
It may not have been, but it might have just been that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might have been equally complicated. It might have been like you got to go to a spot to buy them. But in that case, at least it's straightforward.
Yeah.
You go to buy them. That's it. Second time.
Tabacchi.
Tabacchi. 3 times since.
Online.
Meaning you bought them once online.
Viva Ticket was the last 2, and the one before was...
Viva Ticket is a thing I'm familiar with, which I have used in the past, which didn't work when I went. Second time you bought online was when it was given to you, because Binance gave you the tickets, so you were taken care of.
Yeah.
Third time was a few months ago,
Yeah.
and you were able to buy them online?
Yeah.
This past year, 2023, in the fall.
Yeah, November.
Viva Ticket.
Viva Ticket.
How did you do that?
This Viva Ticket, it actually worked. Like,
but
it was weird because what
you
happened...
have to generally put personal info in there, and if you put certain criteria are not met, they'll refuse it.
Depending on the location of the stadium, you can't get into certain parts. But because I went into the Curva for the Champions League game, no issue. The second one where I tried to pick the tickets for the derby, because I saw Lazio Roma, which was... I had to basically put in an extra information, and I could only choose in a specific section. If I tried to choose a different section, it wouldn't allow me. The Curva was sold out. Obviously, I'm not going to the Curva Sud. They wouldn't let me anyways.
Why?
Well, if I identify Lazio fan, I'm buying off the Lazio site. There's not even an option to buy in the Curva Sud.
Curva Sud is Roma.
Yeah, the Curva Sud is Roma for that derby game. So I could only buy in one spot. If I tried to get on the opposite side where like basically Lotito sits and stuff, I can't even buy a ticket because I'm not from Italy and I don't identify as being from the Lazio region, having a Lazio.
That was my issue. Is because I didn't
card.
So, yeah, that was my issue.
Yeah, which is weird.
My fiscal code, my Italian fiscal code, was insufficient because it showed that I wasn't from Lazio.
I think that was
because it was a regional game.
Yes.
Where they were playing Napoli, and the fear was that too many Napoli fans would come in the crowd, and I don't know, pickpocketing people. Maybe I don't know.
Is your fiscal code? Which one are you using?
Was.
Is your Italian fiscal code where?
It knows I'm registered with Laire, which is the
So that's why you got dinged. So I registered as a guest.
The foreign ministry.
That's why. So I didn't have to do that stuff. That's why I don't think. So if I had to put mine in, then I would have experienced the same thing. They would have said no, like there's just a chance.
But there was but there was a tab where you had to select whether you were a foreigner.
Yeah.
In which case, I think your life was much more difficult. Then there was a tab for Italians.
Yeah.
I went through the Italians tab, and they still refused access to me they refused my ticket access because anytime I would try to complete the process, it would fail at the last step. And I think it was to be honest, I didn't know it was because I wasn't from the Lazio region, but I think
that's
no. I later learned that's why it was, but I think they didn't immediately make clear what the problem was. They just kept saying sorry, siamo spiacenti, not going through, and it was when I began asking questions that I learned that as an outsider from Lazio, like I could have been from Tuscany, still would have had to do it this way.
Same thing, yeah.
Go to the ticket office, they only take cash, no credit card.
Yeah,
but the thing is, there were rumblings about it. I was like, what? Like, there's no way that's the case, right? Mm-hmm. People were kind of telling me, by the way, you gotta pay cash. You know, like I was like, what? Are you sure this is right? Is this really
wrong.
How it is? Because it doesn't feel sensible. It doesn't feel efficient.
No.
And I understand that sometimes, you know, Italian red tape is a problem. And it's not always things are not always done the most inefficient way. But things aren't always done in the most efficient way. Excuse me. But this in this case did feel a little over the top. But sure enough, the closer I got to the process, everyone would say cash only, right? You know that. Right? He's like warning me.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'll bring cash.
So
cash only.
Your experience when you said that, like, it was hilarious because like I even like that. Sorry, it could literally be like it's like spot on, like to what I would expect if you didn't know the club and you were coming in.
I think the issue was, again, they didn't want Napoli fans to buy tickets just anywhere. And what happened was, when my girlfriend and I were getting toward the stadium, there were a bunch of cops, on patrol, and I asked where I had to go to get to the ticket office because I didn't know what side of the stadium it was at. And I asked them where I had to go, and they asked me who I pulled for. They asked me, who are you a fan of? I asked the carabinieri, where do I go? I think I said I haven't bought my ticket yet. Basically, I was like, I gotta go buy a ticket. Sono dall'estero. So I gotta buy a ticket right now. They go, okay. Per chi tifa? Lei per chi tifa? Who do you? And I said, Juve. And they're like, oh, that doesn't really help us. Who do you like? Juve. I was like, I'm neutral. I'm not part of it.
Wrong city.
I thought you were like. The reason I said that is because I thought they were like trying to gauge, like, are you gonna cause problems? Are you a Napoli fan? Where you
Yeah.
you know, are you looking to fuck some people up? But what they meant was, where are you sitting?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, just so I told them, okay, well, for all intents and purposes, say I'm a Lazio fan today. Could pretend I'm a Lazio fan. Where do I go? Funnily enough, we wound up with the Napoli fans by accident. We wound up going into the Napoli curva with my girlfriend. Alone, I would have stayed. I wouldn't have given a shit. I just wanted to watch the game, and I was going to play a character anyway, right, to not get in trouble. So, yeah, I would have been happy to stay there. But, yeah, no, with my girlfriend, with her Gucci fucking crossbody bag, all the men dressed in black, it was no good. We had to get in because we couldn't turn back. The mob was behind us. We got through the turnstiles, and I kind of pulled one of the people that pats you down aside and said, listen, we're in the wrong fucking spot. And this is our ticket. Don't ask me how we got in here. And I think the fucking people in the stadium who worked there were freaking out. They're like, how the fuck did this leak occur? Yeah. They're like, this is a big security issue. Because they're like, listen, this is an innocuous thing. But if you were some rogue Lazio fan, you could have wreaked down. You could have wreaked havoc on these people. You could have started stabbing people in the crowd, Yeah. Like, I don't know.
The pot down system when I went, so here's the thing. When I don't know when you go to Italy, do you try to just speak the language and pretend you're actually straight from there, or do you speak English and say I'm a foreigner?
No, I pose as an Italian.
You pose in Italian. So I did the same thing. So when I walked in there, I had no pat down. No pat down. They looked at me. They went. I had a cross bag as well. Same thing. I walked in. The people looked at me. I had the carabinieri right there lined up. I went and I chucked my vouch. Right in. Nothing.
Nice.
And that's how, like, when you look at it that way, it's like what you're saying there. Like, oh, you could literally be someone who's carrying in a knife.
The less you say, the better. Also, I got in trouble in Naples because, like, I had a guy fooled. I had a cabbie fooled for a while into thinking that my buddy and I were from there, that we were local. My buddy's Italian. He speaks it all right, but not as well, and he has a harder time, especially like just with the Italian accent. Like when speaking Italian, he's a bit off. He's like he can't switch codes that well within Italy, and I was able to kind of like try to sound a little Napoletan, but I can't do that well. I can't do that well. Eventually, but I had him fooled for about 15 minutes, and the key is to say as little as possible. So I told my buddy, "You say nothing. You say buonasera, and that's it. I'll say as little as possible. I'll tell him where we're going, and I'll try to not say anything." But then he started asking questions, and I tried to answer, and I tried to be as curt as possible. But then eventually he was like, "Oh, you guys are from you guys aren't from here. Shit, you guys are here on vacation. Where you're from Canada? Holy shit!" Yeah. And then I've told the story on the pod before, but an armrest that he had between the two front seats went up. We lost sight of the meter. The thing went down, and $20 it magically reappeared on the. I swear to God, swear to Christ, swear to God, because he was like, "What do you do?" I was like, "Oh, I'm in school, work in a bank. Mica lavoro in banca."
Yeah,
that was it.
Banca,
done.
Done. Yeah.
So you got to say as little as possible. Yeah, the less you say, the better, because they will.
They'll eventually.
Yeah,
It's very.
I speak pretty well. Even me, they know. They can figure it out if they ask you a certain thing to which you don't know the answer, or whatever. But we got in, and I mean, funnily enough, there was a lady there for the pat down because they need a lady to pat down the women, but there were no women going through those turnstiles. Yeah. I mean, they had to have a lady just in case, but I guess this chick was just on standby. I guess she probably could have patted down men. I mean, they'd have been thrilled about it probably, but, you know, also smart of her not to, because then, you know, she's going to get a bunch of people whistling at her. So there was this one chick just waiting in the wings, this one, like, female carabiniere just chilling, you know, off to the side, not having to work, but there in case. She sees my girlfriend come through the turnstiles, and she's kind of like, what the all right, I guess I'll pat you down. And my girlfriend kind of, like, signaled to her. She gave her a sign, like, help us. Kind of, you know, we're not supposed to be here. And she looked horrified for my girlfriend. She was like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, come here, honey. Like, you know? Yeah. But, you know, but it was fun. It was exciting.
Experience.
It would have been fun if I was alone, if I didn't have to feel like I have to, like, protect a lady, you know? It would have been a little more cool, I guess. I don't know, but it's a fun experience. Anyone should go to a stadium.
I would recommend.
If you can. If you watch it on TV, you should at some point make a pilgrimage.
Yep.
Just to understand, you know, firsthand the
insanity.
The insanity of it.
Like Lazio Roma, like I went 6 hours before the game started just because I'd heard it was going to be busy. I'm glad I did. I wish I went even earlier. There's thousands of people. I was trying to like compare
segregation, right?
Segregate. There was horses. There were streets that were blocked off. Actually, like a story I can tell you is when I was going to the game 6 hours before, I took an Airbnb because I said I don't want to get caught on a bus with Romanisti. I don't want to go downtown and underground, taking the tram, whatever I'm going to take to get there, and there's going to be Romanisti on a bus. Worst case scenario, I'm wearing this. I was wearing as little light blue as I could so I wouldn't be targeted after the game because I was by myself. When I took the Airbnb, they basically had a street blocked off for me to get around to the Lazio part of the stadium. Because you have to pass the Roma to get around to the Lazio stadium.
Sorry, you got an Airbnb right next to the stadium is what you mean?
No. So I basically had an Airbnb right next to Termini, so station. But to get to the stadium, it's northwest, and it's like a 30 minute. If I go on a scooter, you know, whatever the lime, I could lime it. But, you know, again, I didn't want to get to the wrong turn, and then, you know, I'm faced with the Romanisti wearing Lazio stuff. I didn't want to risk it, so I took an Uber. Sorry, not an Airbnb.
Okay, yeah, no, I was confused. Okay,
yeah, sorry. I took an Uber.
Yeah, right.
From my place right outside of Termini, went all the way up to the stadium. But when I got to the part, because you can only get in if you're a Lazio fan on the one side, Romanisti on the other side. But I had to pass the Roma side to get there, but they had blocked off the street. There's just 10 like carabinieri on horses just sitting there.
Yeah.
I had to put on a jacket in the back. So I was talking with the Uber driver I said, like, what team do you cheer for? Like, you're cheering for Roma or Lazio today? And he's like, I'm a Juventino. I said, perfect. Don't have to worry about it. We got up to the cops on the car. I told him, I said, I have an Airbnb on the other side. We have to go through. I'm not even here for the game. So I knock on the door. I have the people on the horses checking the window, making sure there's no banners. They just see an innocent little guy here just sitting like this. They think I'm a foreigner. I am a foreigner, but it's sitting there coming in to get my Airbnb. Okay, we're going to follow you. I had horses on the front and back of the Uber as we walked around the stadium.
You got escorted.
I got escorted to the other side of the stadium to where I then had to get out, and I joined the fellow Laziali, but it was hilarious just to see that. But I try to describe that to people of, like, you don't understand the levels. Like, a Toronto-Montreal still doesn't create that rivalry. There's nothing like it.
No, and the anticipation, the fear pulsating through you probably is
after the game. I had to go around. I went around the wrong side, so I actually had to take a lime, and I was basically felt like I was playing a game, like I was with a Wii controller, dodging all the Romanisti as I'm sitting around the Lazio Sharpa, on the streets of Rome in a lime. So yeah, it was quite funny.
It's buck wild, man.
Yeah,
that's fucking nuts.
The things you do when you're alone, right?
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. That's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I never had anything happen that was that crazy, but I did wind up stuck in, what's the name of the fucking piazza, Piazzale del, I forgot the name of it.
In Rome?
There's a notorious little, I guess, plaza that apparently all the Laziali congregate at about a kilometer from the stadium.
Oh, Ponte Milvio.
Piazzale Ponte Milvio.
Si.
Yes. So I didn't know that that's where they would be congregating. I hadn't heard about it.
Yeah.
It's like 6 years. It was like 6 years ago. I was there with my dad for the Supercoppa when Murgia won it for you guys. Immobile, Dybala. No, Yeah, that's what it was.
Yes.
Immobile scored twice, I think. Dybala scored twice late on to equalize, and then before it went to extra time, Murja won it for you guys. My dad and
Was
I
that the Lukaku one where Lukaku cut through the left wing center?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lukaku Jr. Where's he now? Dead. Okay.
Somewhere.
Belgium. I don't know.
Somewhere with his
Turkey,
brother.
Turkey.
His brother's agent. Who knows? Turkey. Turkey's probably a good shout.
That's a
Actually.
pretty good shout. So what was his last name? Or what was
Jordan
his first name?
Lukaku.
Jordan Lukaku. Yeah, that's right.
Good
I forgot
question.
about
Where
him.
is he playing? Maybe he's back in Belgium. Who knows?
I bet it's Belgium.
Jordan Lukaku. Wow, he is. This isn't Greek. No, I actually don't even know what that is. Belgian for TF first team. Oh no, he's in Turkey.
He's in Turkey, of course.
Adanaspor. There you go.
Of course. So it's the honorable thing.
It's the honorable thing. He just
The
signed
honorable-
after
Yep.
playing for Ponferradina.
It's
And
the honorable move. For who?
I actually don't even
Who's
know what this is.
Ponferradina?
A Turkish professional football club in Adana. He's not even in the first tier of Turkish football.
Listen, bro.
That
He
is-
made it. He made it to Turkey, dude.
That is terrible.
It's a step up from being. You're a foot out. You're a foot out of the game, but you're still
You're
involved.
still involved.
So after that game, my father and I, pull in for Juve, in a Juve shirt. Granted, I was in. Here's the thing. It was a Supercoppa. So, what you got to remember is, it's like a cup final. It is a cup final.
Cups on a line.
Yes, but they have dedicated sections of the stadium for not even away fans, for one side versus another. It's about a 50-50 split. So half the stadium's pulling for Juve. Even though it's a Lazio game in Rome, it's a cup final, so the split is about half-half. There are no Lazio fans in the stadium where we are. We were sure to buy tickets in the Juve section, in the Juve fan section, right? So we were among our own. And there was no crossover because, again, there is segregation for security reasons. Lazio fans are not big fans of Juve people, and you know, it's not the same extent to which they hate you, Romanisti, but there's a level of disdain, right? And it would have been bad whether Juve had won or lost. If Juve had beat Lazio, Lazio fans would have been pissed. Lazio fans having won are emboldened. So it's kind of a lose-lose. Yep. We're hungry. It's post-game. We lost. We start walking down the fucking Fiume to God knows where. We don't really know where we're going. We're like, listen, let's just find a place that looks good and local, that has good pasta, whatever. Trattoria that you can get any of the four classics at. Find a place in Piazzale Ponte Milvio. Go inside. We're in the back of the restaurant to the point that we can't hear what's going on. Outside. Excuse me. And we eat, get out of there maybe midnight, 1 a.m. Totally innocuously, just eating, thinking nothing's going to happen. I got the jersey on, which is kind of bold. I'm wearing it around, but I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I mean, there's tons of Juventini around here. It's fine. Hindsight was a bit unnecessary, but I had the jersey on. Stepped out, packed with Lazio fans, packed with ultras, fucking banners, flags, people throwing bottles, people honking fucking from cars. A few, good Samaritans saying, you're going to want to get out of here, perché questa è zona Lazio. Questa è zona Lazio. Get the fuck out of here. And we walked it, but I did think, it was head on a swivel.
Yeah.
It was head on a swivel. We would not have gone to that restaurant if
If you knew that area.
If I
That's
known,
the Lazio side. So.
But that's fun
It's
because
the experience.
it's kind of fun to have your head on a swivel, be like, am I gonna live? And you probably are, but
it's just the looks.
come
it's
on,
the,
yeah,
it's
they
they don't actually follow through with it, but
it's a lot of whistling, I fischi. They even
Fischi.
call booing whistling. They don't boo as much. They
yeah.
what do they even? How do they even do that?
I have no idea.
Wee. It's a crazy chorus of fury, But yeah, man. It's just like nothing else. It's like nothing else in the world. It's cool that you get to go back once in a while. I'm talking about it now. I fucking, tengo la voglia di tornare.
Yeah.
It's been a fucking, it's been a year.
It's been a year and it feels like it's longer.
I'd
That's
love-
why in November it feels like it's been too long. So we gotta go back.
Yeah. I'm going to games in England in probably next month, which will be cool, or one game, which will be nice. But yeah, I don't know.
Who are you
Yeah.
seeing?
Leighton Orient against Exeter City, I think.
Wow.
Tier 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say
International break. So
Gotcha.
yeah, Championship and Premier League are off. So we're watching the highest level of football we could watch England take on Belgium or Brazil, but instead we're watching the Orient at Brisbane Road.
Wow.
A little more, the more, some would say the more pedestrian option, but I think it's the classier, classier
definitely.
pick. Appreciate you coming on, man.
No,
Where can people follow you? Where can people check out your writings?
So writing not too much anymore, but the Laziali, I actually have a writer I was actually gonna mention too. So I have a writer in the UK who does most of the writing. So his name's Apollo. So big shout out to him because he's the guy who keeps
Paulo Hayes.
Paulo Hayes. He's the guy. He keeps the site running with his articles. I do all the social, handle all that, but that's the Laziali. So I think it's at the _ Laziali on Twitter and just the Laziali everywhere else. But that's the Lazio brand. My own is just at S_K_More on Twitter. And then DisplayPro is the website to buy the displays. The beautiful Federico Makeda. And yeah.
The thing,
that's
yeah,
just-
the Makeda. So the Makeda, so people may not know. So the Makeda shirt in the studio is
usually
mounted
like-
on a DisplayPro case. Best in the business, I think I could say.
Going strong. Many new things coming. So
Good. No, thanks for coming on. You're doing a lot of cool things. No, and thanks for being cool. Thanks for the chat, man. We'll see what happens in a few days. I mean, I don't think it'll be pretty, but it could. You know, at the end of the day, you don't really expect to win the Champions League with Lazio's current team anyway. So it's like you got to beat one of these big guys anyway. So you may as well just try to upset them now. If you go out, you go out. Who gives a shit? But if
it's a leg, even if it's one win out of the two, I'm happy with that. If we lose 5-0 the second one, if we win in Rome like this one on Wednesday, you know what? I actually contemplate that. Let me think for a minute.
You're gonna go to the second game. Would you fly to Germany?
If that would be, if we win like
Semi-final.
3-0,
You
I'll
go
do
to
it.
semi-final,
If we
I
win
think you can
3-0,
go. Yeah.
I book a flight. Sorry,
No,
that's
no,
it.
no,
Done.
no.
But no,
I think
semifinals, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
You don't even go to the court. I think you make it semifinal.
Semifinal, final, absolutely, I would fly, 100%. Even if it's just for a day.
Godspeed.
Done.
All right. You're just hoping you see that at some point in your life.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. As long as Lotito's involved, I don't know how fucking likely that is, bro. With all the fucking money that's being poured into fucking football in the UK now, I don't know how likely that is, but
And Roma being bought by
always hope.
Saudi, so there you go. Classy of the two Roman teams to be bought by Saudi.
But by God, Lotito's still gonna hold on to it.
He's
That's gonna be an
holding on to it
Italian-owned club till the end of time.
It'll be the last one. He'll make sure of it.
Thanks for coming on, bro. I'm
for
Sam
having me.
Adamo. Yeah, man. Subscribe to the pod if you're new. Toss a like. It helps us. You could rate it if you're listening. Apparently that helps boost it as well. And yeah, man. I hope you enjoyed the bonus episode. Next episode will be coming out according to regular programming in a few days. Till then, listeners, alla prossima. Ciao.